Every time I cried and felt this heartbreak over the pain this person caused me, it's not necessarily because of the pain they caused me, but it's the pain that I felt when I was younger. So now we often tracked the exact same type of pain in order to gain that control. It is a cycle, and it's a cycle until you see it's a cycle. This is no longer something that you're going to experience. It's not for you anymore. It doesn't serve you anymore. And it's a cycle that's ending now. You now have the most incredible opportunity to never experience it again, and to teach your future children they don't have to experience it, and to show those around you and to show yourself. I want you to get out. I want you to be free of this. So that means to free your mind of it. Today I'm going to speak on how to recover from a toxic relationship. From the trauma it caused you, from the pains, from the reminiscing, from the fact that every time you're reminded of it, you feel the pain as if you're going through it again. From the gaslighting that made you question everything. From the actions that somebody else caused upon you that made you question your worth. How to recover from this. So, my name is Naomi Dunn, and I'm an inner work coach. And this is Disrupt Your Norm, where I help you disrupt your current norm to help bring you to a better norm. Now, the first thing is, of course, as you know already, is processing. We're not suppressing. We're not trying to pretend it didn't happen. We're not trying to seek out another person to fill the void of the pain that we're currently experiencing. We're going to process. And processing often looks like feeling to heal. It looks like releasing. It looks like crying. It looks like journaling. It looks like talking to the coach, the therapist. It's getting the emotion that's inside of you out. And you may say that you've been doing this for a long time, and maybe you have been doing it for months or however long it's been for you. And as you'll notice, if you haven't noticed already, it's going to be an up and down process. You're going to have good and bad days. You're going to have difficulty processing and then easier times processing as well. But sometimes when we feel like we've processed all that we can process and it still starts to show up, the pain starts to show up, sometimes we're not processing the right thing. Sometimes we're processing specific things that hurt us, but there's a lot of specifics you would have to process. There's a lot of things you would have to go back on. There's a lot of pains that you would have to try to remember if you were just going to go down that route. But the most important thing is that we need to process the true, genuine, underlying issue of it all. What is the main thing that this person did to me? What is the main feeling that showed up for me? How did this affect me? Maybe it was really extreme shame. Maybe it was neglect. Maybe it was this feeling of hatred towards yourself. Maybe it was this feeling of being extremely out of control. We often see this resemblance of that pain and of that feeling in something in our past. And the past thing is the thing that is the underlying pain that really needs to be worked through. You see, if we just work through the pain of the relationship that came and just release it, and then we feel better temporarily, but we get into another relationship that mimics the pain, we ask ourselves, why are we re-experiencing this? Why are all men or all women bad? Why are all these people so toxic? It's often because we are deep down attracting the thing that we never healed from in order to gain a sense of control, in order to subconsciously we're telling ourselves to end the situation once and for all, to take care of it, because we experienced that pain in the past and it wasn't taken care of, and we were hurt in the past and we were abused in a certain way, and we never got control. We never got vengeance. We never stood up for ourselves. We never did the thing that would have prevented the pain. So now we often tracked the exact same type of pain in order to gain that control, in order to gain the feeling of control, I should say, because we don't actually gain control over anything by reliving it and re-experiencing it. So it's really important we're processing the right thing. And maybe that means looking back and going to a place that you may not want to go to, but if you don't want to go there, that's a sign that you should. And I say that out of love, I say it out of empathy, so much empathy, because it is such a tough choice to consciously go back to the pain that's causing us to relive that same pain in the future. But it's a choice that is priceless. It's a choice that you could never regret, because when we do that healing, that's when you'll notice, okay, maybe not all relationships have to be toxic. Maybe I don't have to continue on that path of toxic relationships. Maybe I don't have to feel this pain from the heartbreak so immensely, from the toxicity so intense, because I no longer have that pain inside of me, and it's healed now. And I'm not actually trying to relive it anymore. And every time I cried and felt this heartbreak over the pain this person caused me, it's not necessarily because of the pain they caused me, but it's the pain that I felt when I was younger. The pain that was unresolved already inside of me. The pain that if I didn't have, I would have never entered into this toxic relationship in the first place. And this is never to put blame on you. Ever, ever, ever. It's never to say that you chose it because you wanted it. No, it's to do with our subconscious wanting to heal in the best way that it knows how. And it's, it's almost like a form of care for yourself, that you're trying to relive pain in order to heal it, because your body's just trying to heal. So the next point I want to say is to do with our self-worth, and the fact that we saw it once and we let it keep going. We thought that we were worthy and deserving of that treatment, and so we allowed it to continue. And there are factors at play. Of course, there's relationships that you've been with that person for such a long time, or you've such a great connection in certain ways, and you've so much compatibility in some ways that make you hold on to it, of course. But there is always this underlying lack of self-worth that when we allow people to continue treatment that we don't deserve. And so that's when we need to be real with ourselves and ask ourselves, do I have this low self-worth? Do I have this feeling of inadequacy inside of myself that maybe I should decide to start working on, decide to start seeing it for what it is, and start remembering the truth of the fact that is, I am worthy and I have intrinsic value, and reminding myself of that and knowing that to my core, and deciding to wake up and know that with every step that I take in my life that I have value, and that I shouldn't be treated that way by other people, and I don't have to allow and accept that behavior and allow it to continue in my life. So we do have to ask this. We do have to see where our level of self-worth is and why we allowed it. And what's really going to create this huge ripple effect of healing is healing from the low self-worth, healing from the fact that we feel inadequate, healing from the fact that we felt deserving of that treatment and that we allowed that treatment, and placing our thoughts and our mindset with what I said, that knowing that you have worth, and reminding, I speak on it in a little bit more detail in my video on how to stop obsessing over that person. That's the title of the video. And I talk about how to cultivate that self-worth, we can do certain things to get the feeling of being worthy and being enough by remembering who you are and appreciating yourself and your qualities, and walking around with that feeling and telling yourself, I'm going to unconditionally experience this feeling. I'm going to decide to unconditionally have this feeling and have this knowing, because it's true. It really is true, and you're not benefiting yourself by not knowing it's true. You're not benefiting other people by not knowing it's true. You're decreasing your quality of life by not knowing it's true, and it's a fact. And it's a fact to choose, and it's a fact that's going to be harder to choose for some people who have experienced a lot of abuse. Where people have maybe told you in the past, through their actions, they didn't really tell you, but through their actions, you perceived their negative actions towards you as this idea of being unworthy. And if you've experienced those pains continuously and a lot in your life, you're going to get this message in your mind that you're not worthy. So for those people, it is going to be a little harder, but it is possible. It's one decision away from waking up every day and deciding, I'm going to walk with this knowing. I'm going to know it's true, and it's going to be hard in the beginning, maybe harder for you than other people. But just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not possible. You just continuously have to decide and remember, okay, I'm going to walk with this knowing, I'm going to walk with this knowing, I'm going to walk with this knowing. And you have to remind yourself until one day you don't, until it's easier. So that's the second thing. It's the fact that we had such low self-worth to allow that toxicity. And the last thing that I want to say is so important. And it's the fact that if we don't see the patterns that came from this toxicity, if we don't see how the pain that they caused us is a reflection of the pain that we already caused ourselves, or maybe the pain that they caused us is a reflection of the pains we've already experienced in the past. If we don't see that and we just see it as, oh my gosh, this person treated me so bad, they're horrible, all people are horrible, all partnerships turn out awful, all men are toxic, whatever, we just see it as that rather than a reflection of what we have experienced or what we are already internally experiencing, then it won't change. And if it's something that has continued to show up for you, it is a cycle. And it's a cycle until you see it's a cycle. And when you see it's a cycle, you can say enough is enough. I'm not experiencing that anymore. That is not the path I want to be on. That is not the path that I choose anymore. It's a cycle I want to end. But if we look at it with pity instead of awareness of what it really is, then that pity, of course we want to empathize with ourselves, but that pity can bring us to a point where nothing changes. And when this toxic relationship ends, what about the next one that comes? If we allowed it then, we need to see that we allowed it then so we don't allow it again next time. And we need to see that we're mimicking pain or we're experiencing something that we internally already experience or experience something we experienced from the past, and we need to see it as a pattern, see it as a cycle, and make the conscious decision that you're no longer available for that cycle. This is no longer something that you're going to experience. It's not for you anymore. It doesn't serve you anymore, and it's a cycle that's ending now. Okay? So that's huge. And you may say, how can I just say that, I'm done with the cycle, let me be done? Trust, just watch. You have the conviction, you have that full body decision that you're done with the cycle, watch it fall away. And when you have that conviction, that means you're not putting energy towards it anymore. You're not letting it rile up in your mind anymore. You're not letting it take over your days anymore. That full body decision and that conviction is going to put you on a different path, because you've made a decision to be on another path. So we see things that we focus on, even if a million other things are there. If we're focusing on one thing, we don't see the things around it. When we make this decision, we stop seeing the toxicity and we start seeing the good people. We start being open to the better relationships. We start being open to the secure relationships because we're not focused on that thing anymore. And that shift of focus comes from the decision that you make, that you're done with the pattern, that you're done with the cycle. You stop putting yourself in situations subconsciously that could bring you in that pattern again. You stop surrounding yourself with the people or the experiences that could bring you down that path again, because you've made the decision. So your body and your mind are going to act accordingly to that decision that you have emotional conviction to, and it's going to change the way you act, change the experiences that you decide to go through with, and change so much in your life because of the decision. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that's clear to you. Still, like I said, have that empathy for yourself, because you have been through so much. You have been through so much, and toxic relationships can be such an emotional toll, such a physical toll, such a fatiguing thing. It can be something that we look back on with so much regret and shame, the fact that we spend a lot of time in that. And I want you to know that because you experienced that pain, you now have the most incredible opportunity to never experience it again, and to teach your future children that they don't have to experience it, and to show those around you, and to show yourself, most importantly yourself, that oftentimes we have to experience this toxicity in order to get to such a low place, to snap ourselves out of it, to bring us to a place of finally ending those cycles, of finally experiencing a better life. We often have to get to this really low point that you're currently at right now in order to get out. So it doesn't matter how long you have experienced it. I don't want you to ever look back and think about time wasted. No, that was the exact amount of time you needed to get to the place you're at right now in order to heal and get out. You have to focus on how it was exactly what you were supposed to experience to then heal and escape from it once for all, to live a better life once and for all, and then to live your life focusing on how much better your life is and how good your life is now, and how beautiful life is now, and how you're no longer in that pain, and now you get to experience healthy partnership. Now you get to experience this beautiful marriage, whatever you're looking for. Now you get to experience it because you're out of it, instead of dwelling and ruminating on it, because I want you to get out. I want you to be free of this. So that means to free your mind of it when you're healed. You're in the exact place you're supposed to be. Exact place. There are no flaws with the place that you're at right now. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're experiencing exactly what you're supposed to experience right now, as painful as it may be. So all that to say, I have so much empathy for you because of, like I said, the toll that it can cause on your body and on your mind and your experiences on life. But you're gonna experience so much better now. You're gonna change your life for the better now, and life can only go up from here. So I hope that encourages you. I'm sending you so much love. And I hope this video really, really helped you. And if you need any additional help, you can check out my coaching down below on my website, and I'd be happy to help. I really love helping people with this topic because of how much your life changes when you understand it and when you heal it. I really appreciate you guys. Please subscribe if you like this content, if you would like more videos on personal development and inner work and perspectives like these. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.